Hello guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ademola Badmos. If this is your first time, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and your constructive criticism is also welcomed. Now we are talking about Cypress 10. Please watch the previous playlist. Things have not really changed that much. It's only changed around the configuration mostly. There are some other things that changed, but mostly everything was around the configuration. And in the two previous videos, we've talked about the changes in the configurations. Now, one other thing I should add is that the new configuration file, the cypress.config.js, also allows you to have a powerful auto suggest, and that is worthy of mention. So now we'll try to write our first code using the page object modeling. We have talked about the best practices of identifying elements in and using the fixtures folder in the previous playlist. Please watch the video about it, about cy.fixture as well. And we've talked about the best practices when selecting elements. So the test site we want to use is this. So what we are going to try to do today is we are going to try to log in these four types of users, and they all have a common password. So what that means is that we will want to test the Cypress fill command feature that is available. I've already installed it. It's just the same way it will be installed before. It's the same way it will be installed in your previous in the previous video I shared, but the configuration is a bit different, which I will show us soon. So what we want to do essentially is just log in these four users. So let us discuss the peculiarity. The peculiarity is that we would have different usernames but the same password, and we will insert this username on the same user. These different usernames will be inserted 4 times on the same username field, and the same password will be inserted here. So what that means is the only changing variable here are the usernames. So with that being said, what we are going to create in our elements.json file is we are going to collect all the usernames, just one password, the username field, the password field, and the login button. Those are the elements that we are going to collect in our uh, examples.json file. So I will go ahead and I'll create all the elements. If you do not know how to identify elements, you just inspect by clicking Command Option I if you're using a Mac, or you just right click and click Inspect Element. I don't know the shortcut on the Windows machine. So you select the element you want to identify this way. It has been done in the previous playlist, so that doesn't change. For any type of automation tool, you just need to come and identify the element and you see. And as it is here, like I said in the previous video, data cy elements are the best form of elements which was used here, so we are going to use that as well. So with that being said, let's quickly create all the steps that we need. We can rename this. We'll rename this to elements like we did in the previous video, and I will just go ahead and quickly populate this so I would not waste our time. So that has been done, and the next thing we would now do is let's create a command file using the Cypress fill command. To use the Cypress fill command, you just do npm i-d Cypress fill command. So why do we need this? The webpack preprocessor that we use when it wants to compile the Cypress folder, it checks the native folders first. It checks the support folders first. That's support folder to check the support folder first to see if any commands are there to use to run the test. So what that means is that that's the first file to check. So, but if that is the case, it means it's better to take advantage of that and create custom commands. So once it has checked it and it has seen the custom command, it compiles it and it runs the code faster. But the Cypress fill commands even runs faster than the custom commands itself. So which means we are adding a bit more speed into our code. So that we use this to install, and we press enter, and because I've installed it before, it shouldn't take long time, and it would install everything. Now, with that being said, let's create our first custom command and see how it is used. So I will come into the support folder, and I'll create, let me just create a new file here and call that login.actions.js, right? So what that means, I will now go into my commands folder and I'll import that file. I will import Cypress field command. Then inside here, what that means is what the implication is, I need to import the new file I just created in order for it to be recognized. Now let me explain this again because I've explained it before, but let me just quickly explain it again. What that means is when the web preprocessor comes into the folder, it checks the support folder first, looks in the commands and see, oh, this is what I'm importing. So it begins to obey all the dependencies of the Cypress field command because it has imported it. So every new command I create, I have imported it inside the e2e.js. In the previous version, it is the index.js in the support folder, so it is essentially still the same thing. So I will create a custom command here, and the custom command I will create, remember from this explanation, the only variable changing here is this usernames. So which means I can create a command that will have the same username field, the same password field, the same password, the same login button, but different usernames will be passed in as an argument. So with that being said, let me just quickly create that command called Cypress dot command dot add. So let's name that command login, right? So the login command would take an argument username. So now that it takes an argument username, we complete the arrow function and we write what we need to write there. So essentially we'll need the Cypress dot we'll need the cy.fixture because everything that we have is inside cy.fixture. So I'm just going to pause the video and just try to make this as fast as possible. So that has been done. So I created the cy.fixture and I imported the elements.json file. Then I used the then command to inherit everything inside the elements folder and assign it to a variable called L. So L now has brought in the username field where I will type the username, and the password field where I will type the default password for everything, and the login button that I will continue to click for all users. So now that I've done this, what do we have in our Cypress what was it called? Let me see. Okay, I've done this. Now let us see what we have here. So it means we want to log in as a standard user. It should log in as a standard user, right? And it should also log in as a glitch user, a performance glitch user, a problem user, and a logged out user. So those are 4 users. So logged out user and a problem user and a performance glitch user. So instead of writing cy.visit 4 times to visit the same test, the same time for us, so what we just need to do is we would create a before each class inside our e2e.js. In previous videos, what we used to create is in the previous video, we would create that before each in the index.js file inside the support folder. But now we'll just create it into the e2e and it will work the same way, right? So now let's go into the E to E and create a before each to run before each of the class there. So we do a before each. Now, with the before each done, we create our arrow function. Notice I'm being consistent. I'm not using the regular function because I started with arrow function. So everything I'm doing, I'm using the arrow function. Let's create the let's first create an event here to help us catch uncut exceptions. Uncut exception where we basically just return false. So it means if there are some uncut errors that will probably stop us from running this code, it will just return false and allow us to continue, right? So after that, we can visit. So what this one would do here, like I explained in the previous playlist, it would allow, because this will be checked first. Once it sees this before any of these each block runs, it would essentially, let's keep the rest. Let's just do for standard user. If it works, we'll just go ahead and add it to the rest. So let's keep the rest for now. So now we want to do for it. So like I was explaining here, so this before each would now run before any of the each blocks, right? So now we need to import the fixture folder because we need to find a way to get our user types that we have. So we pick elements, then then, right, and we'll do this. So we assign that to a variable. Let's still stick to L. So now we have created a command here which is now accessible to any part of our code called login. Is that what we named it? Let's name it a capital L. So login, right? So which means we can call this and we need to pass a user into it. So we just do cy dot login, right? And we do not need to do this. We just need to call el and put standard, right? So this will log in standard for us. So let us try to run our code by using this command to open, which would open the E to E part of it to us and launch a Chrome. So let us see if this our code works. Now its launch is loading up. Let's see if it will work. So let's launch our script and see. It says cannot set property message of which has only a getter. So it means we have a small error. So what we can do is we can go into our cypress.config file and add and set some config files for us. So let us see how we can do that. We need to stop this from running. Let us initialize the configuration first. We need to stop that from running itself. So let's close that. So with that closed, let's start the E to E again. And let's see some configurations that we might just need to change. It won't run by itself, so we'll just check settings and see if we can modify a configuration that would help us to be able to run that. So we'll click on settings. Yes, so let's click on projects. It's a bit, so why is it hanging? Oh god, come on, open sesame. Okay, finally. So let's see, we need to probably change something here, and that would be the web security should change, but I need to see the syntax. Chrome web security is true, so it's a Chrome feature that is stopping us. So let us go and change that in our code. Chrome web security. Let me just copy that line. So let's copy this and put this in our code. Okay, so now that we've put this there, we remember that we put watch for file changes as false. So it means we'll need to restart what we are doing, and so it will take that change. So let's restart it now and see and run the code again and see if it works. If it works, we'll unskip the remaining 4 codes and just put their values there and see if it works. Then if it works, we'll end the video there, and we will talk about probably using environment variables, because since usernames and password are perceived as sensitive data, you can have them in an environment variable, and so which means when you're shipping it to your pipeline, you might exclude them. So let's see if it runs now without error, hopefully, fingers crossed. Oh, we still have the error there. Is it that it did not pick it up? Let's check that again. Let me stop this. Let me end it here as well. Now that I've done that, do I need to save? I think there's an auto save, so it's already saved. So let's just run it again. In the older version of Cypress, I've encountered that error before. So, oh, sorry, it is my fault. I only left this as false, as true. I should have changed it to false. So let me change this again. Let me end this, and it is already auto saved. What am I doing? So I've saved, and let's run it again and see. So when Chrome web security is set to false, then it would allow us to be able to run it. But once it remains true, it won't run. So let's test it now. If it runs, we'll just copy it and paste it on the other side, on the other blocks, using their own user, and we'll see how that works. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it worked, and it logged us in, and as expected, it skipped the rest. So let me just copy and do a copy and paste fast enough to test the rest. So let's just copy this. Let's copy this and paste here. and paste here. So this is going to be a glitch, and this is going to be problem, and this is going to be locked. I guess that's the name. Those are the names we use: locked, problem, and glitch. So let's remove the skip and see if it works. So if it works, we end the video there today, and we would look at how we can use environment variables in the next video. So everything's already skipped. Oh, I made a mistake. I should be copying the ocy.fixture, because this would return an error. So let me just paste this, and we'll change the name again. So we'll paste this as well. So we change the name again: glitch, problem, and locked. So with this done, we didn't set it to watch for file changes, so we will need to close it and we'll start it all over again. Okay, so let's see if it will run 4 folders for us, 4 tests rather. Let's see. So it's run the standard user. Now it's running the locked out user. Now the problem user and the glitch user is being run, and it has clicked that as well. So all 4 users has run, and which shows that we can still implement page object modeling using the new Cypress 10, and in a better UI and a faster mode. So in the next class, we will talk about using environment variables in our code and storing our username and password in the environment variable. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because more videos will be coming. Thank you and have a good day.